past quarter. Guys, next quarter, that number is going to triple. Massive increase. 376,052 total housing foreclosures in the U.S. Within the next 90 days, that number is going to triple. 33% bank repossessions are down by 33% compared to last year. That's because last year's banks could not repossess. So there's this huge glutton of properties that banks need to foreclose on and are just waiting for it to get through the process. But when you compile all of this data together, here's the number that matters. Please write this down and circle it, okay? 841 days. 841 days is the average time it takes to foreclose in the past quarter. 841 days. Now, why is that number important? Let me tell you. That number, that 841 number, is what sets us up to make reverse REOs so incredibly lucrative. Now, here is the opportunity. Please write these down. I'm going to give you 4 things, okay? Thing number 1, you, being the investor, are going to identify and submit an offer on proprietary inventory. Inventory that I'm going to give you access to. Thousands of properties around the country that fall into one of these categories that I'm giving you here today that you will have the ability to write an offer on. So we begin by you, the investor, writing an offer on the property. Now notice, I don't care if you have any money. I don't care if you've got good credit. I don't care about any of that. You don't need any of those things to be able to write an offer, okay? So you find a deal that fits your criteria in a location that you are interested in, okay? So you go out and you find a property that you're interested in. Forget whether you have the funding for it or not. Simply find one you like. Secondly, you will obtain controlling interest of the reverse REO with our proprietary process. And then through controlling interest, you being the investor will create cash flow through our proprietary partners. And then lastly, upon completion of our proprietary process, you, being the investor, will obtain the property at pennies on the dollar, or you will receive a lump sum payout without ever taking possession of the asset. Now, I'm going to leave this screen up just for a little bit longer because I want you guys to make sure you get these written down, okay? I don't want you guys emailing me or my host later going, what were the 4? Do you hear the 4? Write them down. Investor identifies and submits offer on proprietary inventory. You obtain controlling interest in the reverse REO through our process. Through controlling interest, you create cash flow utilizing our proprietary partners. And then once you're done, you get either a lump sum payout or you get the property for pennies on the dollar. Okay, you guys got them? All right, let's move on. Let's look at step 1, find the reverse REO. Now, guys, reverse REOs are everywhere. They're not just the ones on the platform that I'm going to share with you. They're actually everywhere. And you could find them by searching defaulted tax or property records or vacant houses. You could network with property management and real estate professionals to identify vacant properties. I've even heard of people, hiring the mailman to contact them every time they drive by a house that's vacant or abandoned. You could drive by neighborhoods looking for distressed properties. You could contact lenders for a list of their upcoming foreclosures, or you could simply access the proprietary reverse REO list. This is how I do it, and I'm going to show you how to do it here in just a minute. Now, let me explain to you what I'm doing, guys, okay? There's nothing that drives me more crazy than when somebody telling me that unless I give them money and do it their way, that it can't be done. Because it can be done, right? What I'm sharing with you guys, it can be done. You can go out and do this yourself. You can build everything that I've built. You can do it all yourself, okay? So I don't want you to feel like you're being pigeonholed into something here. These are the steps, okay? If you take the steps, you don't need me. But for those of you that are like, you know what, I am busy. I don't have time to build this thing. I just want to jump in with what somebody's already got and start making some money, then we can probably do some business together. Okay. Now, for those of you that want to go out and do it yourself, that's fine. Here's what you do next. You're going to go bid and negotiate, and you're going to get financing for the deal. Okay. So Once you identify the asset, you would then make contact with the controlling interested party of the asset, and you would bid or negotiate with them to purchase controlling interest in the reverse REO asset. Okay, you would then do your own due diligence. You would pay cash, or you need to obtain financing from a friend or a family member or a loved one if you don't have financing lined up. Or once you identify one of these properties on our platform, guys, we've already arranged for the financing through our reverse REO proprietary system. And I will show you how financing is already taken care of on these reverse REO deals. Guys, if there's a property on the platform that I give you, it's already financed. You just need to raise your hand and say, I want that one, okay? Now, for those of you that want to go out and do it yourself, that's okay. You're step 3, okay? You need to identify, interview, and you'll need to hire a local attorney to take control of the property, okay? The next thing you're going to do is you'll identify and interview and hire a third-party servicing company that can help you manage the property and the expenses of that asset. You then will need to identify, interview, and hire a local competent real estate professional to help you manage the asset, okay? Now, again, what we're doing here, you guys, we're taking control of the asset while it is slowly moving through the foreclosure process. But through a fun little strategy called receivership, we can control the vacant foreclosing asset until it goes to auction. And we can be involved the entire time. But we need an attorney and a system and a process to do all of those things. So you can certainly go get those folks, or you can just utilize the reverse REO done for you proprietary platform of service providers. I've already identified the receiver in the market where the property is located in. I've already identified a servicing company that can help you service the loan. I've already identified property management companies in that market that will help you manage the asset. Okay? We've already built it. Guys, I've been investing in real estate for 25 years. I have 600,000 clients across the nation that we plug you into through our done-for-you platform. Okay? Now, again, for those of you that are going to go rogue, do this yourself, that's fine. Your next step, this is step 4 for you, you're going to identify, interview, and hire a local contractor, because you'll need to make the property rent ready, and then you'll need to identify, interview, and hire a property management company to collect rent during the foreclosure process. You'll also need to identify, interview, and hire a local competent real estate professional to help you liquidate the asset in the event that you end up getting it back through the foreclosure proceeding or the process, which we can help you avoid if you don't want the asset, okay? Or you can utilize the reverse REO done for you proprietary system to fix it, rent it, manage it, collect rents, and send you a check every month. Now, a client segment that I service a lot, especially in our private equity funds, are professionals, doctors, dentists, lawyers, those that are looking for a passive return on their investment dollar because they just don't have the time. They are busy professionals. They are making 6 and 7 and 8 figures a year doing what they do best. And while they want to be an investor, they just don't have the time. So guys, when I build out these platforms, I am building them out with the professional in mind. And that means you, whether you are a professional making 6 figures a year or an hourly employee making minimum wage, I don't care. The platform is identical no matter who you are, because the process works so perfectly. All I need you to do is plug in, find an asset, raise your hand, and say, I want that one, okay? Now, I know that I'm probably oversimplifying this, and it's not my intention to make it sound so easy. But guys, seriously, you're looking at identify the asset, tell us which one you want, financing is available, and then we'll walk you through the process of how to manage it from there. I don't need you to go over there and work on it. I don't need you to fix it. I don't need you to paint it. I don't need you to clean it. I don't need you to manage tenants and toilets. All of that's going to be taken care of for you. I just need you to respond. You know, when you get an email and we say, hey, what do you want to do with this? You say, paint it. And we say, okay. So really what this boils down to then is what's stopping you? Is it no knowledge of this revolutionary acquisition strategy? Because I can tell you this, that's what was stopping me. I didn't even know about this, you guys. I've deployed hundreds of millions of dollars. I bought thousands of properties. I've written thousands of loans. I had no idea this was happening. So knowledge is what was stopping me, but not anymore. The other thing that was stopping me was finding the reverse REO properties. I mean, if you don't have any knowledge of it, how would you find them? I didn't have the relationships with the lien holders. I didn't have access to financing to invest in these types of opportunities. Because quite honestly, I didn't realize lenders would lend on these types of assets. And then finding the right professionals to assist me, or not having access to our proprietary system or our professionals, okay? Now, I wrote this slide to illustrate to each and every one of you, I used to be that guy, okay? And I said, you know what, this is too incredible to not build a system around this thing. And then once we built the system, I said, you know what, this is too powerful, too incredible. And I, as an individual, can't possibly take advantage of all of these opportunities. So I'm going to open it up to a few of you to possibly get involved on some of these assets and investing in these assets with us as well. We call it the reverse REO system. I want you to write this down, okay? Reverse REO system, okay? We're going to take it from being a talking point or a concept, and we're going to turn it into a system. Now, the difference between a talking point and a concept is a concept, you can go try to figure it out yourself. Good luck. A system is, I just need you to say yes and we'll go, okay? So the reverse REO learn system, this is the full service done for you system. Please write these things down. It begins with training. Okay, so I'm going to train you on how to control, manage, and profit from these reverse REO assets. Then I'm going to give you access to a backdoor marketplace for reverse REO properties where you can bid and negotiate directly with lenders. Then I'm going to show you how to network. And I'm going to give you access to our nationwide group of legal assistants, receivers, and boots on the ground professionals. Then I'm going to give you financing. I'm going to show you how to get 75% of your purchase price and how you can get 100% financing and servicing on these opportunities. Then I'm going to show you how to liquidate them. I'm going to give you access to our nationwide network of cash buyers who are desperately looking for deals that they didn't know were available because they weren't as smart as you and they didn't sit through this webinar presentation. Therefore, they don't have any idea that they can get access to these properties. Now they're going to get access to these properties through you. Now, for those of you that are looking to build a portfolio of cash flow, you know, one of my mentors said years ago, if you simply take your monthly income, whatever it is, $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, and recreate that same income through cash flow, you can be self-employed and out of the rat race in a couple of months or a couple of years, however long you want this to take. It can happen fast, it can happen slow. Really, it's just up to you. Now, these REO properties are nationwide, okay? And because of the onslaught, or I should say the glutton, the backlog of pending foreclosures, 12.5 million properties sitting vacant that have not begun the foreclosure process or the tax lien sale process, just sitting there. We have new assets that are hitting this platform every single day. In fact, I just heard we've got a download of 50 new assets hitting the platform today. And every time new assets hit the platform, you guys will have an opportunity to go check them out, decide which ones you are interested in, and put in a bid to buy them, okay? These backdoor properties are all over the United States. They are ready to rent long before they go to auction, long before they land on any pre-foreclosure list, long before they get into the hands of any investors. Imagine having access to all this inventory at pennies on the dollar and nothing out of your own pocket. Now, let me explain to you and show you some of these case studies, okay? Now, here's a reverse REO property. Now, look at the total debt, $210,000. Now, just because the bank isn't moving does not mean that the interest calculation on the outstanding debt stops. It does not mean that suddenly, you know, someone else is responsible for the attorney's costs, foreclosure fees, the accelerated interest. All of those things get piled up to where the point you get this house that's quickly going down in value while the underlying debt is quickly going up in outstanding principal payoff. So here we got this house in Dolton, Illinois. Total debt's $210,000. And the bank says, look, if you'll just give us 24 grand, you can have it. Now, if we take this little tiny junky house and clean it up, okay? Spend maybe $500, $800 to make it habitable again. Do you realize we can rent that house out for $1,300 a month? Now, these are rental amounts coming from Zillow and Rentometer. But think about it this way. $1,300 a month on a $24,000 investment. Now, I'm sure you guys have already done the yield calculation in your head, which means you're a lot smarter than I am. So for those of you that are slow like me, follow along with me. If you take $1,300 a month, okay, so we're going to take $1,300 times 12, that's $15,600. Divide that by your purchase price of 24 grand. Do you realize that that's a 65% yield or return on investment? 65%. And you're buying an entire house for 24 grand? Now, I know my friends in Manhattan and Southern California and Houston and Dallas and Miami and Chicago, I mean, you're looking at this and going, you can't buy a house for $24,000. You can in Dalton, Illinois through a reverse REO. And after that thing is fixed up, comps on that thing will bring you $75,000 profit. Here's another one, St. Louis, Missouri. Bank was owed $72,000 on this house. They let it go for $18,250. Fixed up, that house will sell for 75 grand. And while you wait to own it, you can collect $780 a month in rent. You want to know your yield on that? Get out your calculator, take 780 times 12, divided by your purchase price of $18,250, 51.2% yield on your money. Now, I had an investor call me the other day and they said, Lee, you've got to help me. I said, what's the problem? They said, well, I've got my money sitting in a CD and I need it to go somewhere else. I said, well, what are you earning on your CD? They said, I'm getting 1.5% a year. 1.5% a year. I said, did you realize that with reverse REOs, we're seeing returns of 50 and 60 and 70%? He said, I think I should be doing reverse REOs. I said, I think you're right. Here's another one in Kansas City, Missouri. Total debt, bank is owed $118,000. Now, this is not a short sale, you guys. This is not going to the auction. This is us negotiating directly with the lender. This is something that you cannot do outside of the reverse REO structure. Banks cannot sell property. They have to go through third-party intermediaries like real estate agents. We've even figured out how to do this without getting real estate agents involved because we're buying the debt. We're buying the right to foreclose. We're buying the right to control, which means we don't need a real estate agent. We don't need a third-party intermediary. We can go directly to the lender, but only through the reverse REO platform. So the bank is owed $118,000. They get an offer for $25,500. They take it. The after repaired value of this house is $95 grand. You can get $875 a month and just hold it for cash flow, or you can repossess it, take it back, fix it up, sell it, and make $30,000 or $40,000. Now, this is one of my favorite assets that was available on the reverse REO platform. I say was available because, guys, these good deals are not going to sit around and wait, okay? That's why you got to be checking this every day. You know, what's the new inventory? What are the new assets getting placed on the platform today? So here's one, total debt. Banks owed $217,000. They agree to take $89,900 and look at the after repaired value. $449,400, and you can buy it today for $89,900. Do you realize that's like 23 cents on the dollar? That is cheap. I didn't believe it. So I took the address and I just did a Zillow. This is what I call a Zillow overlay, okay? So you simply put in the address in Zillow, you click on lot lines, and you get an image that looks like this. So this square that you're seeing on your screen, that is the subject property that I'm telling you about right now, okay? 237 is the debt. You can buy it right now for $89,900, and look at the properties that surround it. 224, 461, 307, 532. Hang a left out here, $1.3 million. And you're getting this asset for $89,900 directly across the street from the golf course in Vale Field. Guys, without reverse REO, you would have never had access to that asset. It sat there. People tried. They couldn't find out who at the bank they should talk to. They didn't have a realtor that could help them. The taxing authority couldn't help. It was only through access to the reverse REO platform that they were able to gain controlling interest of that property. Now, remember this number? I showed it to you a few seconds ago. 841 days. This is the average time it takes to foreclose, and that number is going up. Remember, that was just the average last quarter. And remember, there are thousands of new foreclosures that are going to be coming into the system, and it's going to log jam the system, and foreclosure is going to take longer and longer and longer. Now, why is this important? It's important for this reason. Check this out, okay? This is that house I showed you in Dalton, Illinois. Remember? When we purchased the debt against this asset and we set it up with a receiver, which then allows us to control the asset and collect rents. If it takes 28 months on average to foreclose, I'm going to collect $36,400 in rent before the property ever sees the light of day at a foreclosure auction, which means I have recovered my investment plus some. So if it goes to auction and sells for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, 100% of that comes back to me. Any amount below the total outstanding debt of $210 comes to me in the form of cash once it's purchased by a third party. Remember that house in St. Louis? If it takes us 20 minutes to foreclose on that house, we're going to collect $21,840 in rent before it ever goes to foreclosure sale. Remember that house in Kansas City? If it takes 28 months to foreclose on that, I'm going to collect $24,500 in rent long before it ever goes to auction. Remember this house in Woodstock, Vermont? If it takes 20 months to foreclose, I'm going to collect $55,860 in rent on an $89,900 purchase. Subtract the one from the other, I just paid $40,000 for a house worth $500,000. That is why you must get certified. Reverse REO certification live stream. Now, here's why this is incredible. You do not need to travel to attend this training. Why? Because I'm going to host the reverse REO certification sessions in your house or your office. How? I'm going to live stream it straight into your computer. This ground floor opportunity taught by me only has 100 slots open, and this is a first come, first serve, and they go fast, which means you guys need to grab one of these spots today. Now, to get started, today, $2,997, but for those of you who take immediate and massive action, you will be rewarded because I'm taking $1,500 off your investment here today. And all you need to do is go click the link on your screen or call the phone number and make sure you get one of those few remaining spots. Now, here's my special gift to you guys, okay? You're going to invest $1,497 today, and we're going to call this a success deposit. And I'm going to explain to you what that means here in just a minute. But your investment today is going to be $1,497. And if you need to break that up into a two-pay option, you can absolutely do that. Again, just click the link on your screen or call the phone number on your screen, and somebody can help you get started, okay? Now, in a moment, I'm going to show you how I will pay your entire deposit back when you profit from your first deal.
Hey, Lee, hang on for 1 second. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say that, this getting their deposit back when they profit from their first deal, man, that is something. That's awesome. And it takes confidence, great confidence on your part that I really, really appreciate. And frankly, knowing you the way I do, it doesn't surprise me all that much.
And I have to tell you, it's incredibly rewarding to return money to someone who has used the system to successfully make money.
Yeah, I know. You don't see it out there. So guys, make sure you put your success deposit down right now. Go to rewn.com/Lee, just like Lee's name. rewn.com/Lee. We have a special webpage set up there. It spells out the offers, lists out everything you get, and then you can use our secure encrypted system to order with your Visa, Master, Amex, or Discover. Now, if you prefer, you can call in your order. If ordering on the interwebs is not your thing, I get it. You can call toll-free 533-1622. So get it today. You've got my full endorsement. This is exciting as anything. I'm super stoked about this, and I know you are too. So jump on this now and do your first deal and get your investment back. It's simple. And, that kind of a guarantee is one that I'm sure is going to get you excited to take action. So get on there and do it. rewn.com/Lee or call 800-533-1622.
Yeah, you guys, this is really important because I made a profit in just 23 days on one of these deals. Now, imagine your return happening that fast. Now, let me show you this deal, okay? This is in Blackfoot, Idaho. And of course, I chose Blackfoot, Idaho because I am in Idaho. I'm in northern Idaho. Blackfoot, Idaho is southern Idaho. So as I was going through the available assets on reverse REO, I found this one in Blackfoot. And so I inquired, and I discovered that this house, as it sat, was worth about $135,000. That was the as-is BPO price. Now, that's the thing I love about these reverse REO assets, you guys, because they come with much of the due diligence already provided. You're going to get a BPO on these assets. You're going to get title on these assets. So you will be able to look at and determine which asset should you buy. Now, during the certification class, I'm going to show you guys how to read the reverse REO titles so that you can choose assets that accomplish your desired outcome. So if cash flow is what you want, I'm going to show you how to choose assets that will take forever to foreclose, and you can just hold that thing and rent it out through controlling interest and just collect cash flow month after month after month. For those of you that are looking for a quick pop of income, I'm going to show you how to choose assets that are very, very close to the foreclosure auction actually occurring, so that you either get that asset back and you can roll it off and sell it or wholesale it very quickly, or you can fix it up, clean it up, and sell it for retail price. Now, as it sits, it's worth $135,000, okay? I negotiate with the lender through the reverse REO platform, and we agree on a price of $81,000. Now, 75% of the funding is already available, so $54,000 instantaneous funding. Now, for me, I invest through my self-directed IRAs. Another reason that I love these reverse REO assets is that I have ample time to invest my self-directed IRA or my kids' CISA account IRAs, okay? So I borrow $54,000 through the lending entity. I put up $20,250 out of my IRA, which means I've got 100% funding on this thing. Fixed up, this house would sell for $200,000, or if I hold it and rent it, if the foreclosure is going to take a long time, I can collect $1,400 a month on this asset, which means I'm plugging in about $750 or $800 a month in net positive cash flow to my IRA, by the way, making it tax-free. So once I get the asset under contract, meaning I now have controlling interest, I own the debt, but I don't necessarily own the property. Question becomes, okay, now what do I do? Well, we're going to use the Lee Arnold system, and we're just going to go through the steps that we would on any other transaction. So on any other transaction, we first attempt to wholesale it. If we can't wholesale it, we would wholetail it. If we can't wholetail it, we would fix it and retail it. If we can't lease with option or seller finance it, then we would fix it and rent it, okay? Now, as you look at these options, okay, a wholesale means we do nothing to it, okay? We just sell it as is, we offload it to another investor, and we just make a quick 10, 15, 20 grand, okay? A wholetail is any property that we will renovate, but our renovation costs do not exceed $10,000. So the definition of a wholetail is any property that we fix and we spend less than 10 grand. Okay. Now, if we're going to fix it and retail it, it means that we're going to spend more than $10,000 on rehab, and we're going to retail it, which means we're going to take it through retail channels, which usually means listing with a real estate agent, because real estate agents will get us on average anywhere from 6 to 15% more than we could get if we did it through a private party seller. Okay. Number 4, If we want to maintain that cash flow, we could do a lease with an option to buy, or we could provide seller financing. And if it's an asset that we want to put in our portfolio, we can simply fix it up and rent it out. Now, while we are in the process of foreclosing on the debt, did you know that you can wholesale debt? Which means I put this property under contract for $81,000. My next step, if I was looking for just a quick pop of cash, my next step would be to list this property for sale in Craigslist in that local market. And I would find an investor in Blackfoot who would call me and say, hey, Lee, I'm interested in the property you have over here in Blackfoot. And I would explain to him, look, I've got the debt under contract for $81,000. I will sell the debt for you for $91,000. You send me 10 grand. You now have controlling interest over the asset. You take it to foreclosure. You figure out what you want to do with it. And I just make a quick $10,000. No harm, no foul. I didn't have to do anything. Now, I can't wholesale it because I don't own the property. I only own the debt. I can't fix it and retail it because I don't own the property. I only own the debt. And I can't lease with option or seller finance it because I don't own the property. I only own the debt. But I can fix it and rent it because I have controlling interest in the asset through something called receivership. And I can simply clean the property up. I figured it cost me about $2,500 to get this thing cleaned up and rent ready. I can rent it out for $1,400 per month. If it takes on average 28 months to foreclose, I make $39,200, a great rate of return on a $2,500 repair investment, which, by the way, you guys, that $2,500 could also come out of my IRA. Now, some of you out there, you have a self-directed IRA. But because you can only put $5,500 a year in it, maybe you just opened it, 6 months, 12 months, 28 months ago. And so you don't have a lot of money in that self-directed IRA. These reverse REO assets are a great place for you to invest those IRA dollars because you can see it doesn't require a lot of capital to be able to take controlling interest in some of these assets. Okay. However, I didn't do any of those things because I knew that the auction was close. Now, during the reverse REO certification, guys, I'm going to show you how to choose assets where the auction is really close. Now, why is that important? Because if you choose assets that are very close to going to foreclosure auction and they sell third party, not only are you going to get your entire investment back, but you're also going to get the increase that the third party investor bid. So 23 days after I purchased the debt on this property, I got this email from my servicer who, after today, will become your servicer. And it says this: congratulations, Lee, the sheriff sale was scheduled for today, was held, and it sold to a third party. The following is the buyer information. They paid $111,560. The buyer's name is Breckenridge in Las Vegas. He says, I will forward the certificate of sale once we get it back from the sheriff. So you will earn around $25,000 after expenses. So this check now was mailed to my IRA account. You guys see that? $46,797.75. Now, do you remember my total cash outlay out of my IRA was only $20,625? Do you guys realize that I made $25,000 on a $20,000 investment in less than 23 days? And when you annualize that return on that amount of money, annualize it, I made 1,925% annualized return. Now, I know that you guys, you're all very shrewd investors, and I'm sure you are beating the market on yield on every single one of your investments. Every one of your assets are beating Wall Street, right? But are any of them producing 1,925% annualized return? I mean, wouldn't a $1,497 investment make sense to, number one, learn how to do this, but number two, to get access to this available inventory? Now, imagine, like me, doing these deals through your self-directed IRA, where all of the profit from these transactions is going to be tax-free. Always remember to check with your tax planning professionals. My attorney made me add that one. Guys, this is why I'm investing in the reverse REO system and the process. And it's why you can't delay in getting started either. Now, guys, your 1 year from now can start today. Now, I showed you this slide earlier, about 25 minutes ago. Remember this? Okay? Where I said, don't you wish you started investing 10 years ago? Here's what I don't want to have happen. I don't want you to get 365 days away from right now and not be in a better place financially than you are today. But the only way your financial situation is going to improve is if you start right now and you start today. But if you start today, do you realize if we just did 10 of these reverse REO deals where you make on average 20 grand, you'd be looking at a $200,000 increase within the next 12 months? Would that be helpful for you and your family? What about 3 years from now? You know, you grasp the concept of reverse REOs, you realize the potential of it, you just go gangbusters with this thing. Could you do 10 deals a year for the next 3 years? You realize 3 years from now you could have $600,000 cash in the bank? What about 5 years from now? Will an extra $1 million sitting in your bank account be helpful? Would you be able to take advantage of more opportunities? Would you be able to help more people, serve more people, tithe bigger checks to your church, give more to your favorite charity? But check out 10 years. 10 years excites me because what we're not calculating in the 10-year, the 5-year, or the 3-year is the compounding effects of that cash being redeployed over and over and over and over again into these assets. That gets me excited. I don't know about you. So here's the thing you got to remember. It's never too late to invest. And yes, while it's easier to say I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and it's much harder to say I can and I will, but imagine if your clients started today, where could they potentially be in 1 year, 3 year, 5, even 10 years from right now? Where could they be?
Man, you got that right, Lee. I could not agree one bit more. You know, I'm always saying that you can't change your past. You can always change your future. Or if you're on the golf course, you know, forget the last shot, focus on the next shot. If you're on the skeet field, which I shoot skeet every Sunday, you know, forget the last shot, focus on the next shot. Look forward, think about your future. And when you do, and you invest in this program right here and right now, and you work the system, right? You got to work the system and achieve similar results. Well, just think for a minute of what your life will look like a year from now, or 3 years, or 5 years, or 10 years from now. It's a great example, and it's a great way to present it, Lee. And guys, this doesn't just change your financial future. It could literally change your children's and your children's children's. We're talking about a legacy here, and it could help you, you know, put you in a position to help your parents, or whatever it is you want to do. This can give you the freedom to do that. You can make a huge difference right now in your own life and the lives of the people that are super important to you. And so I'm going to say that I think this is the best use of your time and energy and effort.
That's right. But you have to start today.
Get on this program right now. This is a super exciting brand new program. Go to rewn.com/Lee. REWN, which of course stands for Real Estate Wealth Network. Now you don't have to type it all out because we finally got that 4-letter domain, which wasn't easy. rewn.com/Lee, or give us a call at 800-533-1622. Lee's got team members standing by right now, happy to take your call.
Again, our special gift to you is this. $14.97 today. You're going to put